Right, just a little bit about me. I started off with ATV in Kent in 1977, just after the requirement for the G6 was removed. I played around with 70 sems and what have you. Didn't do much with the contest down there, but when I moved to Yorkshire in 1984, within 3 or 4 years I was going up the hills with G3GJA and co, and we did quite a lot of ATV contesting back end of the 80s, beginning of early 90s. And did pretty well on 23 sems and 23 sems when we were dragging water-cooled amplifiers for 23 sems up to the top of the hill, 5-gallon buckets of water to keep things cool. Anyway, things have moved on. So, contests. Generally, things have improved a lot since I just did a random look for an early CQTV at home and found one that close to when Dave started up. And you can see that entries have gone up substantially over the years, like tenfold. Admittedly, by 2009, things have sort of died off a bit. Sort of earlier on, it was quite a lot more activity. 23 sems, now well up. And congratulations to M0DTS, who's done a good job there on 23. And we look at some of the other bands, you can see there that the activity's gone up a bit. 13 sems still not very popular. No activity at all in 2009 on 9 sems, and obviously the big change has been on 6 sems with the availability of the drone equipment, and I can see that will continue to grow. There's a lot to be said for the drone equipment. It's cheap, it's easy to use, and it's analog FM, which does actually lend itself to contesting because you're more likely to be able to find a signal down in the noise, swinging the antenna around with an FM receiver than you are with digital. And well done to Noel there, who managed second. So as I said, 5.6 rules, so it's quite a lot of contacts you can see Rob got there from his location up on the North York Moors. And as you can see again, you can get some pretty good results. So it's really worth having a go with this band. It's so cheap and easy. And obviously there were very few entries in before 2016, but 17 now in 2018. Really good. So if we look at the sort of higher bands, there is our illustrious chairman who's obviously refuelling. Go on.
Heat on the job, unlike some other stations.
And that was on 76 gigs, which is a first. So well done to those two stations. Obviously, things are going to get better, I think, and it's a really good thing to get going, DATV or even FM TV. Quite a big increase too in 3 centimetre operation. Again, quite an easy band to get going. You can do quite well with a Sky dish and the usual kit. There's obviously been some change in that it's now run in June, and to some extent that's probably better than running it in September. Certainly there's a lot of other stuff going on in September. You've got the Hamvention, BATC convention, amongst other things. But for those who do a lot of other contesting, there's the SSB field day and what have you. So September probably not brilliant. June's obviously got a lot of conflicts as well, but be interested to know what people think. Do you find June better? Obviously there's a better chance, a bit of tropo. And if we're thinking about putting TV on 6 metres, and why not if we get the extra bit of spectrum, then you might even get some TV with reduced bandwidth digital TV via spreader key. Worth thinking about. So this situation, so far as the IARU results are concerned, with the individual band leaders there. And you see the Rob M0DTS has got 3 there, which is pretty good going. Not sure why I've got 2 13s at the moment. I'll think about that.
Just a
Yeah.
screener.
Don't know what's going on there. But obviously this is a remarkable achievement, and does actually cause a little bit of bother, because the software, which we'll come on to in a moment, didn't really cope with that. So the second part that we did in June was the BATC contest. Obviously it's only for the digital NOV bands, no analogue stuff there. And congratulations again to Dave, and well done to Noel as well. So no activity on 71 megs, but I can see that changing fairly soon. People are getting kitted up for 4 metres, as we'll hear shortly. Digital and contesting, yeah, not ideal, as we said before. It's quite a bit more difficult trying to find the signal. A lot easier if you're looking on an FM receiver and you can see some syncs floating through. Not so easy on digital. There are ways around that, and obviously if you're using the spectrum analyzer part of it built into the ports down, that can make it a lot easier. It'll help with aligning errors and such like. So the adjudication side of it, a lot easier. There's some software, excuse me, there's some software written by the Dutch amateurs. Basically, it's a big spreadsheet with lots of macros built into it. It's got a few odd things in it. For instance, if you decide to log an attempted contact and you don't actually get any points for it because it doesn't work, in other words, there's no received codes in either direction, but you leave it logged and it happens to be your best DX, it will actually throw that up as being the best DX. So that's, yeah, it's been reported, and there's 1 or 2 other little odd things with it as well. So you've been supplied with entries. We need some more bands included on them to cope with the fact that we're going up to 76 gigs and probably higher eventually. The big issue I had in the last one was that 1 or 2 of you modified the existing template because it didn't cope with the bands you were operating. They will be shot later. It was an awful lot of grief to try and recover from that, because it cocked up absolutely everything. So please, if you're going to run it on a band, just make a note, do it as a separate entry with a separate template, make a note that it isn't for the band that's stated, and we'll cope with it that way. Currently we've got quite a few activity weekends. Once a month, 18 hours across a weekend. And I need some feedback from you as to whether that is right, whether it's too much, too little, whether you... And the other question I need to get my head around is the fact that somebody might go out portable on 1 day but can't be bothered to go for 2 days. So is that a negative thing? I don't know. Feedback, please. And as I said there, weekends not always ideal for everybody. Some people will get a lot of commitments from family if they've worked during the week and they've got other things, so they can't get out for the activity contests or activity days. So should we look at something like the activity contest that the RSGB runs on different evenings for a couple of hours or so? Maybe a different, have a rolling thing from one month to next, so that maybe 1 month it's on a Monday, then on a Tuesday on the following month, so that everybody gets a chance where it actually doesn't clash with any other commitment. Again, feedback, please let me know what you think would work for you. And also, is it worth making it into a bit of a contest? You know, some sort of cumulative, worth looking at. And finally, well done, Dave. Thanks for looking after us for 10 years.